Buck.
Hi, Terry. Are you busy?
I got a meeting with Dan later on today.
In the video?
No, the other... Actually, no, that Dan. Who's the little guy?
Yeah, we need to talk.
Terry, we have a problem.
I think we may.
It's not a problem, that's a baby. Bella's not here and there's a situation outside. Yeah.
I thought you were the situation.
What are you doing?
We're waiting to play cards inside.
You can't go in there because of my mom's event. The room's taken up.
We know.
The room isn't going to be cleared for a week.
We know.
But you can't go in there until it's cleared.
We know, we're waiting.
The whole week?
Frankly, we haven't got anything better to do.
It's going to be a week.
We are very patient.
Yes, very patient.
And really, nothing better to do.
Are you guys insane? But where's Bella? Shouldn't she be taking care of stuff like this?
Jury duty.
Are
you really surprised?
Okay, all right. Point taken.
Hey guys!
Hey, Mike!
What are you doing out here?
Who are you?
The room isn't available.
Still? This is total bull.
Who are you?
None of your business. What have they been working on for a week?
I know, right? That's what I said.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm the boss.
Well, good for you.
Classic Mike.
I bet your mom's really proud of you.
You'd be surprised.
This is total bull. I took the whole day off and everything for this.
You took a day off for this? For what?
My schedule changed. I haven't been able to make it to the normal games.
Normal games? You've been here before?
He comes here all the time.
If it's any consolation, Terry, I have no idea who he is either.
No, actually, it's no consolation knowing that my assistant has no idea who this random guy is.
Isn't she your assistant's assistant? Oh, I should shut up.
In my defense, I've never been able to stop any of this insanity before.
Why do I pay you?
You don't pay her. I should really shut up. You don't pay her.
Okay, right, okay, yes, I'm sorry. I forgot. I don't pay her. I'm just a little upset right now.
As usual.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, my bad. Who is this guy?
He doesn't talk.
He's doing a lot of talking.
I meant John.
Who's John? Just playing with you.
The time has come, Terrence.
Alec! What are you doing here?
How do you know him and not me?
Terry, where's Judy?
She's not here, and don't come any closer, Alec. It's not safe.
Well, I've been training for months, and now it's time for me to take my revenge.
Now you're gonna take revenge?
Keep your distance, Alec. Seriously, it's not safe.
I've been training for months, and now is...
Who's she?
That's Bonnie, my bodyguard, and the only one who actually does her job.
She deserves a...
Hey, Terry.
We have a mission. A mission to end this situation with the dictator once and for all.
I hate to interrupt your little moment over there, but we still need to talk.
Baby first?
Yeah, baby first.
So young. Hey, maybe he's Mr. Shepherd's boss. Too soon?
That's what I said.
Who are you? There's been a pretty easy line to remember. everyone. Robert Pattinson is set to take on the cape and cowl of the Dark Knight himself, Batman, which makes us all wonder, is he going to last more than 2 movies? Because as of right now, only Christian Bale has donned the Crusader's outfit for 3 films, though The Dark Knight Rises almost doesn't count because he was kind of barely in it. Zoe Kravitz has just been cast to play the Catwoman in the upcoming film, with a whole bunch of credits to her name. One most notable of her roles is Catwoman in the Lego Batman movie. Hey, she's already got the voice of the part. It's also rumored that Jonah Hill is going to be playing the villain. That sounds promising. Nikon has just announced that they're going to be releasing a new lens for their Nikkor C mount. And why are these words coming out of my mouth, Jack?
Ryan put that in.
Ryan put this in? I told him to stay in the back room. Anyways, the lens is available for pre-order for $8,000? That is literally the budget of our last 2 movies.
3 movies.
Shut up, Jack. So, to recap this already weird monologue, we have the Batman film starring a vampire, a Lego, and whatever Jonah Hill is, a very expensive lens, and a director who won't stay out of the way.
Hey.
It's the Early Late Night Live Show. We're on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, but let's roll the opening credits. Late Night Live Show. We are on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends and enemies alike. And sitting with me because he just can't get enough abuse, so he's decided to show up every week, Mitch Fortier.
Whoa. I
you
thought you
doing?
were going to talk about Kate first.
Yeah, no.
I was getting ready.
Right, yeah. You know, you can say a lot of things about Kate, but you're not a he.
Yeah.
I get to make excuses and not show up every once in a while.
Yeah, you do get to make it. And like Kate showed up this week because KJ just is not showing up this week.
Conveniently.
Conveniently, yes, you know.
She's not tied up in the basement.
She's not tied up in the basement. I said you're no longer like a guest host anymore. You're sort of just like here as much as, you're coming close to being here as much as Mitch is sometimes, you know that?
I'm one of the guys.
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
Nothing, bro.
All right, what's up, man? But hey, thanks for, as always, coming in. And I don't think you were called at the last minute this
Nope.
time.
You gave me plenty of notice.
Right.
I had preparation ready. I could prepare my outfit. I knew 3 hours ahead of time. It was fine.
You want to know?
I mean, more than 3 hours ahead of time. So
You want to know
I got
why?
it.
Because Arnie was the one who got in touch
That's
with you. I
right,
totally
yeah.
forgot she
Oh,
wasn't
that's
coming
true.
in.
Yeah.
Right.
She asked. Actually, that was a while ago.
Yes.
It was like, oh, let me check. That was a few weeks
well
ago.
prepared.
Good
That's,
job.
That's Arnie. Yeah.
Good job.
I think she's not in next week too.
No, the week after.
Right. Because we got
Next.
Phyllis or something. In case Phyllis doesn't show up, I'm going to call you at the last minute.
Sure.
Anyways, Bob Turanjo says good evening all. But anyways, we have Gregg Boggis who's coming on the show, comedian tonight. It's so fun to have a comedian back on the show. I don't think we've had a comedian on the show. We've had some funny people, but we've not had a comedian on the show, I think, since we were at the old studio. I think that's the last time we had a comedian on the show.
Yeah, cool.
So it's been some time. You weren't even there at the
No,
old
I don't
studio,
think I was
right?
even there.
Yeah, you were only there as a guest at one point in time. Anyways, what do we have for the news?
News. Box office news. So Joker, everybody's keeping an eye on that at this point. They're to 193 million at the American right now. By the way, so we're looking at these numbers. We always look at them, but we never really understand. I never really understood how much does the studio get of those actual box office funds?
Well, okay.
What would you say the over/under is, or what was your guess?
Well, okay, here's the thing that most people don't understand about films. Yes, there's all the big wigs and they take away all the money, but everyone that works on the film, besides the producers, get paid for that film. All right?
Correct.
Sometimes the actors will work on getting a stipend of the profit, but by and large, you only get paid when you're on the film. So what does the studio get? All of that, essentially, is what the studio is getting, is all of that. But, and someone's like, well, the studio gets all the money. Yes, but if it fails, none of the workers on the set, none of the carpenters, none of the actors don't get paid. All the actors get paid, and so everything coming into the studio may have been the cost of the film, but it's all going to the studio. So everyone else got paid. So what you see for the number, that's what's going to the studio, generally.
What about the theaters, the studio that are actually airing it?
Well, the
They get employees to
theaters
pay
don't
too.
take a ton from the actual ticket price. They make more than, believe it or not, they make more of it by the you see them, they'll give away a lot of free tickets because they don't take a lot of it, if much at all. But you never see them give away free popcorn. That should tell you something. All right, so what else we got?
That's true.
And that's why you hit up Dollar Tree, you get the jujubes and the Raisinets,
Yep.
stick it in your purse,
Have you? Okay.
I will not pay for $50 popcorn, but I'll
Okay.
pay for the movie ticket.
One of the best
$50,
things I ever
right.
saw was I remember being in line to go see The Phantom Menace when it came out. Remember that movie when everyone was excited about it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we were standing in line waiting to get in, and some guy was just standing there, and he just pulled out like I think 4 liters of soda from his pants. And he pulled out a huge thing of popcorn that was just all, I remember I was like, when that came out, I was like 13 or something like that when that movie came out or something. Or something. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
I was like 12,
Yep.
13, something
been a
like that.
while.
I remember just sitting there going, I don't go to the movies much, but this is not normal.
Are there any snow caps in there?
Right. Yeah.
His pants must have been like 6 times bigger than what he needed them.
Did you ever feel like kind of a little bit like I'm sort of a bad boy or something like that when you're sneaking candy in? Is that how boring a person I was? That I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm sneaking candy.
I still get that today, actually. So, no lie.
All right, so what else we got in the news?
A Gemini Man opened up this week.
Oh, we all liked the trailer for that.
We did.
Yeah.
And they're at 20.5 million, where the budget was 138.
138 million was their budget?
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
very bad opening then. You said 20 million.
Totally, just 20 million. Yeah,
That's
that's
a
not
very
a great
bad
opening
opening,
at
yeah.
all. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not the death. I don't think it's death yet necessarily. We'll see how the reviews are. I think that'll make a big difference.
It could be one of those films that could catch up.
And maybe a foreign market too. I'd have to look into those, see what those numbers were. But
Well, yeah, because the director's not American. I think the director's from, it's like an I Ching type of dude. I mean, like I think he did an I Ching movie or something like that. So.
yeah, that would make a big difference, right?
Right. Yeah. So, all right. What else we got?
Doubtfire the musical.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
What? Is it just called Doubtfire?
Miss Doubtfire.
Or is it called Miss- oh.
I'm not sure they're going to bill it Doubtfire or not, but it's going to be going up on Broadway in
Whoa.
2020.
Wow.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking at the box office on that. I'm like,
Oh, no,
how did we
no.
miss this trailer?
Well, actually, there was a box office piece. So Alien's 40th anniversary they've actually got a film out, Alien 40th anniversary, but
Yep.
386,000.
That's pure profit at that point,
I'm like,
though.
basically, yeah.
What else we got in the news? So Mrs. Doubtfire, the musical.
Yeah, and coming on Broadway, so I guess it was a big deal. It was just a piece of news that caught my eye, because I actually thought that film was pretty funny.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a
So-
good movie, yeah.
Yeah, I rewatched that recently.
And as a musical, though, I'm not,
I don't know.
I'm trying to imagine.
Well, hey, I went to see Beetlejuice, the musical, on Broadway. I went to see it. Me and Hannah went to see it.
Wow.
It was
That
amazing.
must have been incredible.
It was better than the movie. It was and Hannah loves Tim Burton, loves Beetlejuice.
love-
We went to see it. She said this was it was totally better than the movie.
So apparently, who's playing
Wow.
Mrs. Doubtfire is this guy named Rob McClure, who played in Beetlejuice. I don't know if he's from the movie Beetlejuice. I didn't get that far into it.
He's
Whether he's like the kid from back when the movie was made, or if he's from the Broadway
He's
production.
probably from the Broadway. Who's he playing?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, that's got to be the guy who played Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
then.
I
he
wouldn't,
would-
I
yeah.
wouldn't doubt it. If he's
Yeah.
been on Broadway already and they've got a big film,
Is
a
that
show
guy
like this that they're going to
stole
put
the
up,
whole
so.
show? He was incredible. In
That's
this part,
awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
very cool. Angela Lansbury turned 94 today.
Aw.
she finally caught up with the
been
role
around
she's
for
been
it.
playing in the movies.
That's the she played older roles, doesn't she? That's funny.
She's been playing a 60-year-old woman for the past 70 years. I saw her once play a young woman. It was in
Was it a Disney from like an old
well, it was a
Disney?
Danny Kaye movie, The Court Jester. You guys ever seen The Court Jester? The young beauty in it, like the young is Angela
her?
Lansbury. I remember watching it as a kid, going, "The woman looks really familiar, but there's just something off about her."
The
you
fact
know?
that you remember watching it as a kid really makes me sad, because I can't remember stuff like that. Big movies or actors or whatever, and like some.
I can't remember birthdays to
Do
save
you remember
my
what the
life.
color couch you were sitting on?
Well, I remember the rug because it was in the basement. It was
nice.
The rug was like one of those
Yeah.
thin blue rugs that you put over concrete floors.
Oh, sure.
Easy to
Yeah,
memorize.
like an indoor-outdoor rug.
That's
Yeah.
a
My
specific
head connected
detail.
with that rug a lot. Yeah, I got fought with my brothers a lot, so I got a lot of rug burns
Your
and
face was
like
pressed
smashed
in it.
heads. Yeah, if you ever bounce your head off of concrete, you remember it quite well.
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah.
Well, I watched my little brother go through a wall once, but that was about it. But he threw himself. He propelled himself off of a futon and into a wall. And then we ended up putting a Barney poster over it. And he was like, no one's gonna know there's a hole there. But
One of the-
sleepovers.
One of the best things is the bottom of the stairs at my parents' place. We would just go tumbling down the stairs and just smash a hole through the wall. And my dad would patch it up, then tumble down the stairs, smash a hole through the wall. My dad decided to stop patching it up with with sheetrock and decided to patch it up with 3/4-inch plywood. It's still there to this day. All right, what else do we got?
It would be.
What else have we got?
Speaking of, well, actually, I don't know. Beetlejuice is not a Tim Robbins film, is it?
No, Beetlejuice was Michael Keaton.
But a director. Tim Robbins is a director.
Tim Burton?
Tim Burton.
It was
No, it's actually Tim Robbins is who I'm looking at, but Tim Burton was who I was thinking of.
Yes.
See,
Yeah, I knew
this is the
that.
difference between him and I. This is
I
why
knew
I'm like
which-
a little
yeah.
jelly of his whole memory thing. So he's 61 anyway. So,
Oh.
but
Tim Robbins or Tim Burton?
Burton?
yeah, Tim Robbins, the actor director. I don't know how Tim Burton is, but it's
Well,
probably-
you should find out.
Yes. This is part of being.
You should
This
be
is if you.
prepared.
I'm
mean,
not
like-
going to ignore the fact we have a sketch later on today that you're totally killing it because of.
because I only have 2 lines.
Yes, yes,
and they're really
exactly.
short.
Really quick, Kastari, generic last name. It says Court Jester is a must see. Any Danny Kaye is a must see. That's true. Danny Kaye was kind of like he was almost like a Dick Van Dyke before Dick Van Dyke in a way, like Christmas. Oh, geez, White Christmas with Bing Crosby. That's Danny Kaye. If you've seen that, so yeah, you know, Inspector General. The original Secret Life of Walter Mitty. No one is seeing this film. Where's Arnie when I need her? Who has seen all these old movies?
Secret Life of what?
Well, the original Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which is based off a book, starred Danny Kaye.
Right on.
Totally different than the Ben Stiller one. Both are good, but totally different.
I
Yeah,
remember
sure.
the book, but I didn't see either of those. But it's on my list.
Okay, all right. What else we got in the news?
Not a heck of a lot today. However, remember our guest Autumn Allen? She was on.
Yes, of course.
She's doing some kind of escape
Escape room.
room kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was looking for help. Do you have any more details on that? or-
I do, and I gotta pass it on. Yes.
The Garrison Players?
Garrison
Yes, look up.
Players,
Yes, if we could look up, we're gonna shout out to Ryan. Who
I
needs
did
to get
shout
the
out to
show.
Ryan before the
Yeah,
show. So.
Garrison Players. We'll drop the link down below. Is looking for help. Is almost always look at Garrison Players. Is a good place to go if you're looking to get into acting. I will say this really quick shout out to Garrison Players. If you're looking to get into acting and you have no experience at all in theater or anything like that, go to Garrison Players because they'll take you whether you have a ton of experience or whether you don't have a ton of experience. And they put on really good plays. I've seen quite a few plays there for quite a few years, and you'll get to work with the lovely Autumn Allen, who is always a treat to work
Yeah,
with.
she's a staple over there for
Yeah.
sure. And I've seen a couple plays too, and they were pretty good. One was Steel Magnolias a while back, and
Yeah, they've done Calendar Girls. They've done a whole bunch of like.
they do some neat stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
So absolutely.
Cool.
So yeah. And Autumn, if you're watching the show, I apologize. I didn't forward the link enough to, even though I said I did, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe they found help. Maybe maybe they got what they needed. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Unfortunately.
How did Hamlet go, though? We're going to say this right now because
Oh,
you weren't in
sure.
last week because you're a schmuck, and I said that on the
That's
air.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Last week I was working.
Oh, right.
The week
I-
before that I was in a show.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched the clip of you, Mitch. It was awesome.
You like?
Yeah, very
Pretty
cool.
cool,
I don't
right?
remember if I told you or not.
Yeah, I hurt myself every show. No big deal.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And,
Pain is temporary.
So
Films.
physical.
That's it. The things we do for our art, right? The sacrifices we make.
Yep.
We had actually pretty decent audiences. The high school from Milford actually came out to the show. We had like 60 kids there, I think.
Wow.
So they got to see what I consider certainly an above average production of Shakespeare in general and Hamlet in particular. And everybody was raving about many of the characters and the costumes and the sword fight. No less than 5 people would walk up to me at the end of the evening saying, "That sword fight was awesome. It's the best one I've ever seen." So
You should
it was
have
a
just done the
really
sword
good
fight.
feeling.
Did you really need to do anything else?
Yeah.
for
Whole
the
play of
fight?
sword fights.
That's
would be-
what, yeah, we were talking about that. I'm like, wish we made it longer. But we put a lot of work into it, so.
I want to ask this. I got to ask this question because I was thinking about this the other day, and Kate just died a little bit. She's like, "Oh my God, Terry's thinking about something." I could see it in your face.
leaving.
What is he thinking about right now? So, how many times have you done Hamlet?
Just once.
Just once.
Yeah.
Okay. How many times has Hamlet been done?
Oh, geez, I can't even imagine. It's a 400-year-old play.
So,
If it was done less than 10,000 times, I would be surprised.
right. So why are people shocked that there's so many remakes of films? We just don't see the remakes as been for plays. Anyways.
No, I never
a good
made
point.
that comparison.
Well, yeah,
that is.
Yeah, we see
Good
the
point.
remakes of films because they stick around. We haven't seen the 10,000 times Hamlet has been done.
true.
Hasn't anyone just said, "Why are we doing this play? Can't
know
someone
what?
write something original?" Like,
Well, to get serious, it's harder to remake a film. It costs, it's more money, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
People, they've seen it and whatever else. So It's not as just a bunch of rehearsals and then you perform. You've got lots of people involved,
Yeah.
lighting and cameras and
Oh,
tech
yeah.
and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah,
And
no.
then they only do it once or twice for a particular film. So.
Anyways, we're going to be cutting a break because this whole segment just petered out because I started talking about Shakespeare and I don't know anything about it because I'm an uneducated schmuck. That's why I host a talk show. So when we come back, we'll have a little video about our guest, Gregg Boggis, and when he comes back, we're going to have a little bit of stand-up too, which I'm looking forward to because we haven't had a comedian in a while.
Nice.
I could use a laugh today.
Yes,
Giggle.
that's right, because I'm here, so it's no funny. Anyways, it's
With
the Early
looks
Late
on
Night Live
everything.
Show, and we will be right back.
Imagine having to brace yourself for a reaction every single time you introduce yourself.
As I got older, yes, the C from Cobbledick got changed to a G, Gobbledick.
If I had to do it all over again, he definitely would be Timber. It was done with love.
I've been hearing your name for years and years. It's been a little bit confusing.
I've had TSA agents at the airport say, "Is that really your name? This is a U.S. passport," and they're asking me if it's forged, basically.
I have an older brother, so, he kind of told me what cock meant, and then I kind of put the two together, and it just didn't create a very good visual in my mind.
I get taunted and sometimes physically accosted, beat up, or something like that.
It's a very difficult practice to get to a place where you can say, it's not personal, it's not about me.
Once Shelley came up with that book, that ruined our good name, that book.
It wasn't difficulty, unless I became a spy, unless I became, I worked for the CIA.
Everybody realizes that their name and the names of everyone they know send enormous signals to the world.
I want to spread the F last name around. It's gotten a lot of press, for sure.
In a world all but overrun with bullies and dimwits, your name can make you the object of derision, wisecracks, or worse.
From Linda Slutsky.
My uncle, George Washington, and my first cousin, James Brown, got there before me.
But there's no support group for people with strange names. It's every schmuck for himself.
I was reading Harold Robbins' book, and schmuck was in there a lot. So I went to my English teacher, and he said, "It's time you knew."
Welcome back to the Early Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and our YouTube channel, The Early Late Night Live Show. I totally screwed up his name. Gregg Boggis is here, and he's going to do a little bit of his comedy. Yes, shut up, Mitch. Wasn't that funny? All right, anyways, so introduce our guest for tonight, Gregg Boggis. Take it away.
So it's great to be here in Exeter. Had a little bit of a difficult time getting here through the traffic. It's always a challenge. I started doing stand-up in Boston. Traffic there was always really a challenge. It's the road rage capital of America. I used to have the road rage back when I was a young, fit guy. Things would get crazy. I could get out of my car and run. Now I'm an older, plump guy that keeps my temper in check. But I got a buddy from Boston, Ernie Tossi, great guy, but he's got the road rage, something fierce. I get in the car with him, raging away, veins bulging out of his head, sweat pouring off his brow, literally punching me in the arm, like, "Greg, look in the rearview mirror. This guy is 2 feet from my rear end. Any closer, he could give me an exam. Look at him, look at him." I got to be the voice of reason. I'm like, "Ernie, calm down. You're at the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru. Have a cappuccino. That should take the edge off you." So fall is here. All the signs are apparent. Leaves are changing colors. Kids have gone back to school. There was a guy in the parking lot trying to sell me some pumpkin spice weed. So anyhow, it was a great summer. I got into shape. Thank you very much. I lost 70 pounds. Yeah, how about that, huh? And 10 minutes off my stand-up act. When you start losing weight, people give you advice. My aunt, I was at a holiday party, and she says, "Greg, you should fill up on the good stuff. You should fill up on the good stuff. I brought you some ambrosia salad. Fill up on the salad." If you don't know anything about ambrosia salad, the most nutritional part of an ambrosia salad is a marshmallow. It's got marshmallow, like maraschino cherries, Skittles, and caramel syrup. It's awful for you. So anyhow, you work out, you lose weight, and I'm very excited about that. And now I can fit into some more casual wear. This is the Tony Soprano line. So, but anyhow, I'm 53 years old. I ran some difficult times. I have to move back with my parents, which is a bit of a problem because they're in a nursing home. So. I've been Gregg Boggis. Thank you very much.
Come on over. Gregg Boggis, a stand-up comic, and we always have someone sitting in this chair right here, and the problem is with this newer chair is that it's higher than my chair, and no matter how tall or short the person is, I always look really tiny next to it, and it's just really awkward. So
Katie's towering over you.
She is towering over me still right here, so yes.
I like it.
We're all shrimps.
All right, so Gregg Boggis, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Gorgeous day.
Yeah, I like your stand-up, man.
Yeah, I've been doing it for quite a long time. I've been traveling around. Mostly a New England guy. I've done some stuff in New York, Pennsylvania, and South Carolina. That was fun. It was with a prop act, and one of his props was using gummy worms. And it was in the middle of the summer, and he called me frantically. He says, "Greg, we got to go to the show early because all my gummy worms melted in the South Carolina heat."
Poor guy eating.
I love gummy worms.
Do you cater much of your comedy to the location you're going to?
I do like to do a little bit of groundwork. So if it's a town, I'd like to maybe find out a little bit about some of the peculiarities of the town.
Right.
Like Exeter, you know, is look at the UFO festival.
Yes.
I don't have any jokes about that, but I know I've got a UFO festival.
Yeah,
It's out of this world.
You guys are funnier than me.
It took us 3 years.
We did. We're just waiting for the right moment.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, so you try to do, you know, I tend to be a little crowd worky, so I like to actually talk to the crowd as I'm performing. A lot of guys just do their material and don't necessarily break that wall of working into the crowd because it's something that can be, it's fraught with peril, right? Because sometimes the person in the crowd is funnier than you, and that's always, it's not supposed to be like that. But it's a fun way to work it, and usually you have your material to fall back to, so.
So what about hecklers? What's your key for dealing with hecklers, would you say?
Yeah, in general, if you don't pay any attention to them, they go away because they're looking for attention, and they tend to go away. A lot of times, if you just kind of ignore them, they'll stop. If they keep at it, then you have to pull out a couple of, pull out the howitzer and fire a couple of rounds across their bow. And there's all kinds of stock lines and dealing with hecklers and all that, which I can't say in
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead.
So I wonder if the crowd maybe will turn on the hecklers too, because I know as a musician, not that it happens so much, but or even in a play, if I was in a play or performing somewhere and somebody is just being rude or saying something, and you're just, like you said, the best thing is to just ignore. The other audience members are going to be like, "Are you serious?" Like they'll go after him. Hopefully it takes care of the problem sometimes.
Yeah, that absolutely works. More often than not, if you present it as everybody here paid X amount of money to see a show, and they didn't pay to see you. And usually that kind of takes the teeth out of them. But a lot of times if you just ignore them, they don't get attention. Sometimes you talk to them just for a brief moment, they got their attention, and then they're okay. So it all depends on how the person is.
Right. Now you're a New Hampshire guy.
I'm a New Hampshire guy, born and bred in Nashua, and then grew up in Milford, lived in Somerville, Mass for a while when I first started stand-up.
And you survived.
And I survived.
Yes.
I called Somerville the city that never sweeps.
Yeah. It's good pizza in Somerville, though.
Yeah, there's some great food in Somerville. I actually like that town.
Though. So
Fun
what
theater.
Would you, so you're in the Hippo, though. You're noted in the Hippo newspaper.
I was. I think 2017 honorable mention for stand-up comedy. So,
oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Not bad. Honorable mention. That's pretty much me. Not quite at the top, but making my way up there.
Now, what's your feelings on Halloween? Because this is one of the things you mentioned coming in.
I did.
Yes.
First of all, I have a public service announcement. There was a guy giving these out in the.
Oh.
Hey, can we see, take a look? Yeah. All right.
An apple with a razor in it.
Our parents weren't lying. They really do
Yeah,
that.
they do exist.
So anyhow, first of all, I found out that literally this whole apple with a razor thing was just like an urban legend. So literally, there were no actual cases of anybody actually dying from any of that kind of stuff.
And whoever got an apple? Trick or treat?
Yeah. Well,
what would you do with the apple when you're
so back in the 70s, you throw it right back at the house. That and raisins.
Yes.
And then, of course, back in the 70s, they would give out corn balls. We literally get a corn.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Throw that back in the house. I don't know what's in I don't know what's in that corn. So
I can't
get
say
out.
that actually because my girlfriend loves corn balls and she got all
Really?
excited, brought a whole bag of them.
Heavens,
This
burger
year.
tray.
I don't.
The first human I've ever known that liked a corn ball.
Yeah.
What's a cornball?
It's a ball of corn.
It's a ball of
Literally,
corn.
it's like-
held together with I think corn
Think Rice
syrup.
Krispie treat, but with
Yeah.
popcorn.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
In a ball.
Yeah, think of Rice Krispie treat, but yeah, losing teeth.
I love that. More likely to hurt yourself trying to shave this type of razor though, perfectly than to eat an apple with a
I give them out with aqua velvet in them too.
Yeah.
So.
So what else about Halloween is like your thing? Do you do like a special stand-up for Halloween at all?
I usually like to incorporate a little bit of the season in my act. I generally don't go on stage dressed up, but I actually did for a number of years work at like Spooky World, a place called 13 Screams, another place called the Dark Crop, and they were all like Halloween haunts. And I found out doing that comedy and haunting are very similar in that they both try to provoke an uncontrollable response from the people that are there. So stand-up comedy, working well, you're getting a good laugh out of somebody. Haunting, you get somebody to scream and flip out. So, so you really, and it's very, very fun when you get somebody. The one time I remember at Spooky World, there's a couple of young women, maybe like 16, 18, and I just popped open the door and just hit them with the perfect scare. And one of them stood and screamed. The other one screamed and then started to run, but she turned around and ran right into a wall. I'm like, and so I had to break out. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay."
So I was just about to ask if you've ever been able to accomplish the fear automatic response, or the laughing automatic response, right in the essentially right after one another, and that's a pretty good example of how that might happen.
Yeah, because I love going to those haunted things every year. And I went to Spooky World, and they had this like fog type of area where it's like, well, I think it was.
Was it
actually, no, it was
spooky?
at
Was
Canopy
it
Lake
at
Park.
Canopy Lake?
Right, Canopy Lake Park. They had
Oh,
the section
okay,
where you're going through where it
Scream
looks like
Fest.
right, Scream
Scream
Fest.
Fest.
Looks like you're going through fog. Some guy popped right up in front of me, and I fell
Yeah.
backwards, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
he had
awesome.
the same reaction. Oh God! And I just saw his hand stick out. You okay, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the general rule of thumb is you don't touch the people, so you're always.
Right.
And then and it's important to also maintain your space because some people have an automatic fight response. So if you're too close to them. I don't know if there's a great viral video of a kid popping out of a trash can at a school.
Right.
And and this one kid just goes, bam!
Yeah.
The poor kid just drops like a sack of potatoes when the trash lid closes on him.
That's awesome. The
But
crash
yeah,
and fire
so you
department.
try to keep this distance from these people that you're scaring because some people
Just in
actually
case you
have
get
that-
knocked out.
They actually have that kind of response. Every once in a while, there'll be like a 7-year-old kid who's like, "Let's go, mister."
I said Scream Fest, got scared by the clown. What'd you do? I kicked him in a ding ding.
So what would you say to someone who is thinking about stand-up comedy? Like, because everyone thinks they're a comedian.
Sure.
You know, and some people go on to host late-night TV shows, and some people actually go on to become comedians, you know?
Many are called, few are chosen.
Exactly.
I mean, I think I'm funny, but I know looks aren't everything.
Yes, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah,
I
that
kinda
was
like
good. That was good.
It's an old family joke,
Yeah.
actually.
So if you want to do it, the Corner of the Realm is a 5-minute set. So when you started doing stand-up, you're going to an open mic show and you're doing a 5-minute spot. So you got to write your own material for 5 minutes. Some people, dig stuff from the internet or, watch old comedians. Don't do that. Create your own material that especially is likely unique to you.
Right.
And that stuff that is going to be your material. Nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take your own. And then just start going. There's a ton of open mics all around. There's some in Boston. There's some in New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont. Kind of every state now has their own organic stand-up scene.
Right.
And create 5 minutes, practice it a little bit, call up a club, book yourself on an open mic spot, and go do
Don't
it.
expect to get paid for these open
Don't,
mics.
don't,
Right,
don't
right.
expect to get paid for years. I mean,
Right.
literally, and then when you do start to get paid, it's not as good as it used to be. So
Right.
literally, the stand-up money is frozen in amber from like mid-1980s. No cost of living in that business.
Right.
So let me ask, was it the writing part of it that you found you had a knack for, or was it the performing aspect of things more that got you kind of into it? Like, how'd you get into it, and what was...
Yeah, I was always a good joke writer, so I was always like set up punchline. So and throughout my life, I would always be somebody that had a good line at a certain point when it was a family gathering or in school
Right.
and all that. So I was a class clown, and I was good at that. I was also kind of a goof, But I was definitely much more of a comedy. It's called monology, where you're just doing essentially like a Jay Leno or Conan O'Brien kind of.
Okay, sure. Monologue.
Yeah,
Monology.
yeah.
Right.
As opposed to say like a Robin Williams or Carrot Top or any of those kind of much more physical performers.
Right. Before we go, because actually we're almost out of time, but you're sticking around for trailer trash, though, right?
I'm sticking around for trailer trash.
Yeah.
I box the trailers.
Boots us.
He's ready. He's on.
Oh,
it.
that's right.
Now I know you said to write your own stuff, which I absolutely agree with. But there is a technique to timing and stuff like that. But who is your inspiration? Who would you say was like one of your favorite comedians of all time?
So I had a bunch of them. Growing up, watched All in the Family and watched Sanford and Son and watched the Carol Burnett show. Carol Burnett I actually absolutely loved.
She was wicked funny.
Yeah, and so then going to the 70s, it was George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Steve Martin, and then Eddie Murphy were kind of the people that I cut my teeth on watching.
Steve Martin was so unique.
Steve Martin was great, and he was kind of the first guy that turned comedy into like rock and roll, selling like the LA amphitheater and all that.
Yeah.
He was the first guy that became.
He is like a rock star, and it's so physical with watching his performances. And I just watched something I had never seen, the movie where he's the preacher.
Oh, I'm not sure
it's
that
like,
one. It wasn't The Jerk.
No. It was Steve Martin, and he has a traveling preaching
roadshow.
Yeah, and he is just on stage, and and the music is amazing because there's a traveling chorus with them as well, and it's a comedy, but it's kind of a dramedy. But
right.
Yeah,
he was an outstanding guy.
Is.
Really bright, really well-written material, and they're just really irreverent. He was just corny as hell.
Yeah.
Just very, very, very funny. And then he played the banjo. He just was really pretty well-rounded guy.
Very talented guy. But hey, we got to cut though, because this has gone by way too quick. We got to have you back on the show at some point in time. I love having. It's been a long time since we had a comedian on the show. On the show, our guest last week was not as funny as you, but I have to say this because you're a comedian, but was funny. It's nice having comedians back on the show.
Great.
I'm having so much fun. Sorry.
I'll send some your way.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love the sound of that. All right, anyways, the Early Late Night Live show on every Wednesday night, 7 to 8, Exeter Channel 98. When we come back, it'll be Trailer Trash.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dan with Exeter TV, and this is The Vertex, your corner in gaming. On Monday, Volition, who developed and designed and just generally created the Saints Row series, announced that they have found the source code for Saints Row 2. It means that they've found the instructions to make a game that they made about 10 years or so ago. Don't laugh, this is an actual problem in game dev. I know it's weird. But it means that Saints Row 2 for PC, which has been a buggy, broken mess for literally a decade, is finally going to be updated into a playable state. The port was published by THQ in 2008. When they went under in 2012, the source code was thought to have completely vanished during the bankruptcy auctions. The game's online modes, and honestly the single-player modes as well, were really only playable due to the presence of modders, and even then it really wasn't the most stable thing on most machines. That said, Volition announced during a special stream to celebrate Saints Row 2's 11th birthday that they were putting a small team together. They're going to bring the DLC to PC because it's only ever been on consoles. They're migrating the online service from GameSpy to Steam because GameSpy went under 5 years ago. And they're otherwise getting the game to a state where it can actually be played without crashing. Like seriously, there are people online bragging about how few times the game can crash on their machines. Like just during regular gameplay. Anyways, for more gaming news, you can check out the Early Late Night Live show on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and check us out live every Wednesday night at 7 on Channel 98.
Mitch Fortier.
Thank you.
Right.
When later? Like
yeah.
right now later?
Like later.
Later.
Like
after the
show's going to 8, so we can
8:01.
8:01. You can. Anyways, the Early Late Night Live show on every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98, and on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live show YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends and enemies alike because we don't judge, though we know you do. Okay, what is the first trailer we have up, Mitch Fortier?
What are we running? I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well, let's do.
Should we just pick one? Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, do Jungle Cruise. Yes.
All right, sounds good.
You're not very good at this.
Hey, nobody told me what we were running first. You usually ask.
Okay. All right, Jungle Cruise. All right.
Post-production expected July 24, 2020, based on Disneyland's theme park ride, where a small riverboat takes a group of travelers through a jungle filled with dangerous animals and reptiles, but with a supernatural element. It's looking for a director, but it's starring Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, and directed by Joan Colette Serra.
Okay. So, I have a lot of. I got to keep it concise because we got the rest of the show to do. But I got thoughts about this trailer. I'm just going to say my bit first because I'm the host of the show and I can step in and say what I want. I feel like this is almost like it's doing a throwback look to like these types of films of old. It's almost like the thing itself knows it's mocking it as opposed to just doing it. I want to give an example of like the movie Silverado. For those of you guys remember the Western movie Silverado, it was a love letter to Western films in the 60s and 50s, you know? And it didn't make fun of it. It didn't make jokes. It just did it. It said, we're going to make one of those types of movies in the respect of those types of films. And I feel like this is just gone like we're going to do almost making fun of these old Disney adventure films. I will say, as a director myself and a person who's done female lead action films, Emily Blunt looks awesome in this role. She looks fun. She looks charismatic. She looks like she's cool, but not too cool to be funny. And one of my favorite bits is they always have the woman hitting the guy at some point in time in these old movies because women have to punch the leading man because that's what they do in films. I like it. It was an accident. The way she says, and she apologizes. Like that's, I think, like
she's classy. They're always like back in the day. They're classy and they accidentally or they on purpose.
Right. You know, like the way they would show a girl was tough in old '90s film was it have her kick a guy in the crotch. That's how they made it show a woman. Oh, she's tough. You know, that's she can kick a guy in the crotch. They didn't do any of that in this trailer. The Rock looks good. The ending looks definitely intriguing because you don't know what the heck is going on, and that's beyond that. It looks a little corny. So.
I thought it was A Quiet Place too, so I was getting excited, but I guess not. She's in it.
So, what's your thoughts on this, Kate?
Well, first of all, I didn't realize it was based on the jungle ride from Disney World. That is awesome. I had no idea because I remember when I was there, not the last time I was there, but I was there once, and they were taking polls after you got off the ride. Actually, there was a pollster, and they were saying, "Do you think this? Did you enjoy this ride?" And I was like, "Oh man, are they going to get rid of the jungle ride with the animatronics? You know, that one." And I was like, "I love this ride. This is a great ride. Don't get rid of it." But so as soon as the trailer started, I mean, it looks beautiful, and everything you say, I can appreciate that. But it looks like The Mummy to me, which I love The Mummy and I love Indiana Jones. But as soon as it starts, it looked like The Mummy. Yeah. And then the Emily Blunt even says, "Oh, me and my brother," and I'm like, "Oh, like just like in The Mummy, where it's the woman and her brother and the guy, and it looks like there's a curse and there's a mystery and some kind of archaeologist."
The fact that he's got this fake horror cruise, I love that. The fact that he's hiring like the natives to shoot blows up.
That's what I was going to point out.
I did like that part of it, you know. And I love these two actors in it, but
they do have. I was going to say they do immediately. You see, they have a cute little chemistry. I think.
Oh, they definitely,
right off the bat, you saw that, and they look great, and she looks fun and quirky, and so.
Yeah, it's not their performance; it's the overall feel. Like we're trying too hard to be an old school Disney adventure. So, Mitch, your thoughts on this?
So I kind of agree with everything you guys are saying, and the chemistry, the funness of it, the making up the cruise like he's like this, and Dwayne Johnson is just hilarious. Getting punched in the face is even funny. The way he reacts, he's like nice form.
that was good. You know,
and I love these kinds of movies. Like I loved Jumanji. I haven't seen the second one yet, but I loved the first one, and that's kind of what this made me feel like.
It's definitely I got a Jumanji type feel.
And it's just kind of cute, fun humor that I could totally see myself just chilling, kicking back with some dinner and watching this on a on a weeknight.
All right. Greg, your thoughts on this trailer?
Yeah, it looks like almost like a contemporary spin on the African Queen.
Yes,
with,
that's funny.
Bogart and Katharine Hepburn.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, the amount of CGI and all that is now there's pretty close to seamless now. It used to be a little clunky. Now you really can't tell. So it looks very good in that respect.
Yep.
And it's fun, but I love The Rock. Emily Blunt kind of reminds me of like Sharon Stone and who's the woman from Saturday Night Live who's kind of funny?
Goldie Hawn?
Oh no,
you know
the one from Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Why do I forget her name? I love that show. Parks
we know
and Rec.
who we're talking about.
This is killing me
but
now.
Yeah, she's got a great kind of serious but a little bit of fun to her. And then Rock, I like him, but I just always, can you smell what the Rock is cooking? It's still stuck in my head doing that.
That's
Still
funny.
Rock. All right, well, I'm going to jump into the rating here because time's eating up in this show right now. I'm going to do 1 thumb up because it doesn't look bad. It just looks like, in my opinion, judging by the writing, that it's going to realize too much that it's a corny film. And it's like, hey, look, this is one of those types of movies. Hey, look, this is one of those types of movies. That's what I feel like watching the trailer. So 1 thumb up and 1 thumb down. That's because that's what I feel like it's just trying too hard. Kate?
I think exact same for me because I think, and when you were saying, is it self-aware of what it is, but I feel like I'll be watching it and it looks cute I don't know. I don't know if it could hold my attention. Maybe more of a kid's kids. I love kids movies as an adult, but sometimes you can't pay attention and you can't really sit through it as an adult. So I just don't know. And it looks cute, but I feel like it's been done a million times too.
Yeah. All right.
1 million times.
Billion.
I'm gonna get 2 thumbs up when it comes out on like Netflix or something.
Okay. Greg?
Yeah, 2 thumbs sideways. It looks like it'll probably be a serviceable film.
Yeah.
I generally don't see Disney movies.
Yeah.
And so I just have a built-in, like, I don't know, I think the last one I really saw was Herbie the Love Bug or something. So
That was a while ago this time, yes. All right, what's the next trailer we got up?
So the next film is called Doolittle.
Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
So this is a fantasy film adventure directed by Stephen Gaghan. With a bunch of well-known actors for voiceovers, but the basic premise of it is that after losing his wife 7 years earlier, eccentric Dr. John Doolittle, played by Downey Jr., famed doctor of England. I'm paraphrasing this really long thing. Queen of Victoria falls gravely ill, and the reluctant Doolittle's forced to set on sail on an epic adventure, meeting all kinds of adversaries and wondrous creatures.
Okay. So I got to make this quick because we're running out of time for this segment right here. What the hell?
Confusing.
This trailer, yes. I feel like this trailer, and someone actually in the Facebook, a couple people on Facebook went very long and descriptive to what they thought about this trailer.
Some things to say.
Yes,
No question.
too long for this show actually. And one of the things I think they said, this felt like this trailer thought it was way more serious than what it is. That's what I feel like too, you know? Yeah. And Downey Jr. is very charming because he's the only good thing. If it was anyone else, it would be nothing interesting in this film at all. Even Antonio Banderas looks cool, but it's so weird. It just doesn't.
Is he the tiger?
No, Antonio Banderas I think is a baggy, but is this like a comedy? Is this supposed to be, it's just too fantasy to be, it's too silly to be serious and too serious to be silly. And this last shot right here, this is the worst framing I've ever seen for an epic someone walking out of a shot. So
without having some context of like somebody peeking around the corner or whatever, you know what I mean? It just felt very weird.
So I think it looks, I think it's thinking that it's going to have some nostalgia, even though this is clearly like the Eddie Murphy one. And I've never seen the Eddie Murphy one. It just looks like a mess, in all honesty. I think it's overhyping itself, in all honesty. Kate?
Yeah, it's very serious. So when I said Doolittle, I'm thinking, wasn't that a comedy?
Right.
Or wasn't it? Because this
It's
didn't
modern
look
day
like
too, wasn't it?
It was more modern day, yeah,
so.
and mostly serious. It was a dramedy to some degree.
Oh,
There's some
right.
serious
Okay.
things going on, you know.
Oh. So I don't know, and it looks kind of like, even though the last one was Jungle, to me this looks like the Jungle Book 2, and Robert Downey Jr. is Mowgli, and he's with all the animals.
He's all grown up now.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Or is it Jumanji too,
Right,
as well?
yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's similar, but I don't know. It's again, I mean, it looks amazing, but yeah, it can't make sense of it just yet. But I mean, it's Robert Downey Jr., so I mean, you always have to watch him, and he's going to be amazing, of course, no matter what the movie is. But
I got to give it there's definitely some good visuals in it.
I'm blown away by the vibrance of the whole thing. That was
so
what
bright.
really just made me want to watch the trailer. Personally, I was thinking that Downey Jr. was like a possible liability for this particular role. I don't know how they cast him in something that Eddie Murphy had done,
right?
You know, in the past. So it's a completely different take on the role. Gonna be, but.
All right, Greg, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I still, with Robbie Downey Jr., I always think of in the film Less Than Zero or in Back to School. So I always think of
Back to School.
Hey, going back to school.
Right.
So yeah, it does. It definitely looks like it's It looks like it's taking itself too seriously. To
Right.
me, I thought there was a whole lighthearted thing, and it looks like it's a tragedy with the gorilla dying or whatever. I don't know, it's too heavy for me.
You just gave it away. No, I don't know what happened.
All right, so we're going to jump into the ratings. Greg, you rating for this?
Yeah, I don't know. I like half a thumb somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good description. Mitch, your ratings for this?
It's just a
Half
family
thumb
show.
somewhere.
It is
Let's
what
not
we're
going to ask
gonna
where
do
we're on
this.
TV.
You know what? I'm 2 thumbs very much down, except this one wants to do like maybe some kind of weird thing because the visuals are amazing and some of the actors are doing the voiceovers sound really interesting to hear.
It's like it's so cheap. It's
but
just
I
like
would
we're
love
gonna-
to been one of these characters, and they're getting a chance to do that. And
Right,
there's some
yeah.
big names here.
But it's a cheap thing because they haven't recorded at their home and send it in. Oh, so now we can say Tom Holland is in this. All right, I'm going 2 thumbs down. It just looks no. Kate,
I'll do the same thing I did before. Or no, because it's Robert Downey Jr.
right? That's the only reason why
But-
it's not 2 thumbs in the eyes for me.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't know what it's. I don't know what it is.
All right.
Well, make sense of it.
Anyways, I want to thank Gregg Boggis for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We all clearly didn't like that trailer. Anyways, it's Early Late Night Live show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98, and we will be right back.
What's going on? Oh, hey, we're starting a new show.
I'm hosting. So are we. I even wore my suit.
Yeah, we thought at this point it would be probably a little bit better to aim at a younger audience, so we hired Kate. And them.
Wait, them? Our names are them?
Shut up.
Except we won't talk sports, we're not gonna talk politics, just entertainment.
That's the same as my show.
Or not that original.
Get out.
Stay.
Terry, this is my show.
Want to keep your job?
You're fired.
What?
I'm here.
Show's canceled.
No! Again.
What's going on?
Well, we're trying to film a promo for the Early Late Night Live show, but Facebook Live keeps kicking us off.
Technical difficulties. Tell me about it.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go. All right. It's the Early Late Night Live. Let's have it again.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you know, that people should watch the show because we have so much fun, talk entertainment news and, you know, things like that. And, you know, of course, my segment.
Yeah.
I swear, Facebook hates us.
You know, hey, maybe if we do this.
Ooh. Oh.
Whoops. Accidental selfie.
Yeah. Okay. Look. Let me.
I got the.
No. You apparently don't.
No, I
You don't
do.
actually know what you're doing.
But
All right.
it's my phone.
Yeah. No. Listen, let me do it. Let me do it.
guys.
You're acting like such a girl.
Oh my gosh, you
Guys.
guys. What?
We're live.
Hey. Join us Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Exeter Channel 98.
And on YouTube when it works.
And we will talk entertainment news and trash some trailers. And then, of course, we've got my segment. So don't miss it. Join us on Wednesday night at 7 p.m.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Siblings.
All right, things going well?
Yeah, I think going
Kate,
pretty good.
nice job. Good work keeping it light. Appreciate you filling in for KJ.
Thank you. I always
Yeah,
love
yeah,
coming
it's
on
good
the
to have
show.
you. Mitch, your news is very detailed and spot on, so keep up the good work.
Cool.
And Terry?
Yeah?
You're not funny.
What?
I said you're not funny. You need to do something about it. Maybe talk to Greg or...
What do you mean I'm not funny?
It means nobody's laughing at your jokes.
I know what it means.
What'd you ask?
Seriously, Mitch?
A recent poll shows that your humor on the show is about as funny as punching a baby in the face.
That's not funny at all. That's horrible.
That's the point.
That's harsh.
Okay, what's the percentage of the poll, though?
100% of the people polled think you're as funny as an ice pick up the nose, which is funny to say, but it's not funny to experience. Hence the reason they voted the way they voted.
Are you serious?
Typically, especially when you don't cast me.
What?
No, nothing.
Give me that. I want to see how many people are on the poll. Okay, there's only 3 people on the poll.
Still 100%.
Yeah, 100% of 3 people. Kate, you're on this.
What?
You said I was as funny as an ice pick up the nose?
It's not my fault the pollster was giving out cookies.
Get out of here, Dave.
Are there any more cookies?
Yeah, come on.
Mitch, seriously? Anyways, all right, well, polls aside and everything, we have a new segment of the show that is we're going to be turning over to our director of the show, because he has been desperate to get in front of the camera, and so he sort of wheedled his way in, and I'm keep going on and on right now until he gets his microphone hooked up properly. But we are going to be turning over in just a second, and in just a minute, and in just a moment, until he walks in front of the bloody green screen to Planet Jack.
I can tell my joke now.
You can tell your joke. No, it's too late. He's on the stream. All right. Planet Jack, let's go.
Hey, thank you, Terry, for that wonderful introduction, I guess. Welcome back to the Early Late Night Live show, live on YouTube, 78 on Exeter TV, channel 98. And welcome back to a minute on Planet Jack. Hello, I'm Jack, director and latest news correspondent for the Early Late Night Live show.
Since when?
Now.
Oh.
Here is what I've been going on in my world. If you are a huge fan of The Office, as I am, you might be aware that the popular series, actually the most popular series, is departing from Netflix in just over a year, end of 2020. Getting ahead of myself. It will be streaming on the new streaming service NBC Universal. But don't feel too bad, because I do have good news about The Office. The Ladies of The Office is a new podcast coming from Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsley, Pam and Angela respectively. They will be rewatching every episode alongside you, commenting, giving behind the scenes stuff, and never before heard content on their podcast. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Another member of the Office cast, John Krasinski, Jim Halpert, is teaming up with Ryan Reynolds to make a fantasy comedy titled Imaginary Friends. Krasinski will write, direct, and star in, while Reynolds will just be co-starring, I guess.
Just showing up late to work, Ryan.
I guess he's just showing up.
Yeah.
It's about a man who can see everyone's imaginary friends and foes, so we'll see what's going on with that. I think it's good news, because the guys involved have been doing some really great stuff lately. Deadpool, they have The Quiet Place. John Krasinski also wrote, directed, and starred in that. And Detective Pikachu, which is my newest favorite Pokemon movie, which is a list I have in my head.
I was going to mention it as a joke. But
number one is the first Pokemon movie, Don't Fight Me. Another rival in the long line of new streaming services is AMC Theaters. It's throwing its hat into the ring. As the biggest cinema chain in the world, it hopes to expand its audience and revenue stream even further. It will feature a loyalty program that is already in place with their moviegoers, as well as exclusives, and boasting a catalog of 2,000 movies when it comes out. So that's the new streaming service fighting in this already long list of streaming services out there. So this has been a minute on Planet Jack. Hope you've enjoyed. I also have a Facebook and YouTube channel. I'll probably link those below. I'll get back to the Early Late Night Live show. Thank you.
So, Jack, before you go, all right, you don't need to go in front of the green screen, but you don't need to go in front of the green screen. Yeah, you can come over here. Okay, let me just ask this really quick. So AMC Theaters,
Yes.
okay, is doing a streaming service.
Yeah, so they have AMC networks already.
Okay, but no, hear me out. So the problem with streaming services is that it's killing movie theaters. So it really is a case of if you can't beat them,
join
them.
There we go.
100%.
I think it's a good move by AMC.
Me too. It's what Blockbusters didn't do back when
they didn't join.
you had the chance.
For those of you who don't know what Blockbuster is, it was a place you went before there was streaming services.
What?
Right. Yeah.
They had things called VHS tapes. They were like.
I actually
big
never went
cassette
to
tapes.
Blockbuster. I used to go to Video Update. And was one of the ones I used to go to.
Sure.
Remember Video Update?
It was Video Max, Video Update.
Right, yeah.
Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video.
That's what we had.
We had West Coast Video in Boston, but
right, yeah.
That's where we went.
Wait, West Coast Video in Boston?
That's where we got our video.
That's wrong.
They're just all gone now because they
I'd be
didn't join
confused.
the revolution, I guess.
Kids of today will never know the thrill of mom and dad saying we're going to the video store
Right.
to rent out.
Yes.
Yes, you know,
Yeah.
while like the pizza's being made, you know, because we live so far that no one would deliver pizza to where we live, so we had to go pick up the pizza, so we pick up a tape.
So on the way, yeah.
Right, yeah, and like the looking through, and you would always like weigh it out. It's like, okay, we really want this movie. We know mom's going to say no to this movie, and she'd probably say no to this movie, but we really want this one. So show her the one that we know she's absolutely going to say no to in hopes that she'll accept the one she would typically say no to.
Right, the lesser of two evils.
The lesser of two evils.
The same game I played at GameStop. You know, you have the M-rated and the teen-rated,
right, yes,
and you try to trick mom and
yeah,
you get the M-rated.
Exactly. Your mom doesn't watch the show still, right?
Oh, shh, don't.
Yeah.
Busted.
Tell her.
Jack, you're grounded.
No one will know the thrill of that. That was it's not the same thing. Scrolling through Netflix.
And if they didn't have the tape that you wanted, then you couldn't watch it. There's only a limited amount of the actual
You had to put your
tapes.
name on a list, or you know.
Right. Yeah, you might have to come back.
Yeah. They called you on a telephone. Have you?
One of those things that had cords, right?
And they said, "Hello, we have your film."
And be kind, please rewind.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Be
on
kind.
stickers on the tapes. with the-
Or there might be a service charge if you don't rewind the
Yes,
movie.
it was,
You had
yeah.
to rewind it.
I used to spend so much money at video update because I had no life, and so I would go. I would go before Netflix was a thing. I'd go there. I would get like 3 or 4 movies like every week, which sounds so pitiful now. That was like a big deal to get 3 or 4 movies you hadn't seen before.
That was exciting. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Now you have 2,000 movies at your fingertips.
It's yeah.
A little bit different.
I remember being excited about the mail, checking the mail to see when my Netflix DVD came in.
See, it's even
Or actually,
changed
yeah.
since then,
Or
yeah.
Netflix CD, actually. It wasn't even a DVD at some of those cases, but you know.
Another
older,
world.
you know, whatever, yeah.
Jack's world.
Another world. And other than on Planet Jack.
yeah.
Planet Jack, that's what I meant.
Thanks for that news, though. That was pretty interesting.
Of course.
And there was actual relevant information.
It was.
Do you know what show you're on?
This one?
Yes.
I think it's the early late night live.
We don't do relevant information, but we do corny jokes. So
I'm just glad.
It's an opportunity.
This is your moment.
I forgot what it was.
Are you kidding me?
Was it a knock?
We're all gonna sit here, and we're all gonna sit. Do you remember your joke?
No.
You don't remember your joke. You went through all that, and you don't even remember your joke.
It was a joke to make a joke that I had a joke.
That was it.
Pretty much.
You kept
I
interrupting
was messing
me.
with you the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
What are you still doing?
It's just-
Here? Why aren't you in the back row?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jack.
Yay, Jack.
I'm just glad I didn't come up with his news and then spoil his, steal his thunder during his, the beginning of the show.
I'm just glad that they have to write it.
It dodged a bullet.
Like, it's like more I don't have to write, the better it is. I can just like come in and just sit down and try to be funny. But, I can kind of mask it because I'm a host, so I'm allowed to be weird. And so if my joke doesn't work, it's just like, well, Terry's just an idiot. Unlike the comedian we had in the show, who he actually has to make his joke work. I don't have to.
All right, so truth be told, I did have something that Greg had reminded me of when he was talking about writing jokes and so forth. And is Mitch Hedberg's and one of my favorite jokes of his is that I'll be sitting in a hotel.
Are you trying to tell a joke
Yeah, I'm
now?
going to tell a joke. And I'm sitting in a hotel. And I'll be sitting on my bed and I'll be thinking of this joke. I'm like, that's really, really funny. But then I'll realize the pen's way over there. And then I'll have to convince myself that the joke was not funny. Because I don't want to get the pen.
I don't have to convince myself right now of that joke, so it's... Anyways, so thank you to Greg for coming on the show. Gregg Boggis, I'm so sorry for screwing up your name earlier today.
I'm going to leave the comedy up to Greg.
Dave Mills has decided to show up and not get punched on the screen. He's very happy about that, So Kate, you met Dave on set before.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you realize how much stunt work Dave has done with Narrow Street Films.
Wow.
In a lot of chance is Dave getting shot.
Oh, I can't wait to
Did
see.
he work? Right, yeah.
No
Did he work on
offense.
Fair Fight?
He was on the Fair Fight.
Cool.
Yes, he was. He was on the both days. You were there, but you got there. No, just Sunday. Oh, okay, wow.
got a
Shows
really
my
nice-
memory.
That's why I didn't see you on Saturday, because I was there.
Right. Yeah.
I took a great picture of Dave in the field with the horses behind him. It was beautiful.
Wow, Dave's a
He was
beautiful
just
man.
like,
All right.
picture.
Anyways, we got to wrap up the show. This is the early late night live show. We're on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the early late night live show YouTube channel. Please, 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 please make sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Hit the notification bell. Next week we'll be in a slightly different studio. The studio is going through a little bit of changes, and we're still working out the schedule. And the lovely man, Bob Glowacki, who runs the studio, said that we don't have it for the next 2 weeks. And he said, don't swear on the show before he left the studio. And he said he wants to be a guest. So, anyways, thank you everyone who come on the show. And thank you to everyone in the YouTube room. Bessa J says Ace Ventura.
That's my mom.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bessa J.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, Ace Ventura. All right.
Is that like a code word for something?
I
Ace
don't know.
Ventura.
All right, we'll be back next week. Thank you guys, and we'll see you later. Hey, you made it. Thank you for watching our show, and be sure to join us next week at 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show in Exeter, Channel 98.
And if you have any questions or want to be a guest on the show, you can email killarneyt@gmail.com. There might be a link or some info somewhere around here.
Below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube. You won't regret it.
We
They
hope.
won't regret it.
Yeah.
Terry Traynor